enjoying the nice view and the breakfast. Please feel free to keep eating, drinking, whatever. And there's no choice, otherwise it's going to get very, very cold. What I'm really going to be taking you through here today is about how to get breakthrough improvements in profitability that are sustainable. Now, to start off with, what are we really talking about? In all of our businesses, it's really about how do we create value for our clients in a way that's commercially valuable for us. There is no point being in business if you're not creating commercial value for yourself. But fundamentally, in all of our activities and all of our interactions with clients, it's got to be about creating value. Now, today, we are in a market where it's really even more so buyer's choice. About this time last year, I was with my family and we were over in Italy and we went to Pompeii. Magnificent place to go, and I took my children there. And in all the excavations, you can see where all the shops were, and in some of the documents they recovered and writings and everything like that. The local businesses there in Pompeii were complaining about import competition coming in from the south of France for wine and olives and those sort of activities. So all of that activity where we're competing, and where there's more and more around us that we're having to compete with, is going to keep increasing. It's been around for thousands of years, it's going to keep going. There are more people we are racing against than ever before. That situation is going to continue. So it's even more and more imperative that we keep on creating more value for our customers and ourselves. Often, for any of you who are in larger organisations where there's a budgeting process that's having to justify your existence every year, but we're being asked to do more and more with less and less. Clients want everything, they want it all yesterday, and they want to pay nothing for it. It's a very simplistic and rather crude way of putting it. But simplistically, at the end of the Friday afternoon, there's a lot of people that can look like that. And you get stuck in Groundhog Day, where every day, every week, every month, every year, you're doing more and more with less and less, and your margins are deteriorating. Yes, that's a tie coming out of his mouth. I've got a few people at the back going, gee, what's going on there with the tongue? What's the play there? So, why am I here able to talk to you about this? My background's in the real world. So yes, I've got an engineering degree, yes, I've got a master's in business, but my background's about doing this in the real world in factories. Now, until I began this business about nearly 3 years ago now, I was the general manager of the Electrolux factory at Orange. Now, March of 2007, that place had just come off a year of making $252,000 profit. Fantastic. On sales of $247 million. So a 0.1% return on sales with an asset base of about 40 million. 600 people there. A lot of question marks over its future around whether they should run off to some other part of the world to buy fridges and bring them in. Fridges are a rather commoditised product. They're basically, look, you can dress it up all you like, they're a box that keeps your beer cold. It's quite simple. Now, 3 years later, 2009, because Electrolux runs a calendar year financial reporting process, we made $28.6 million on basically the same amount of sales. It was $249 million, something like that, which gave us a return on sales of more than double the group average, and we've been more than double the group average for the previous 3 years. And 2009, if you remember, there was something called a GFC. We grew volume, we grew margin, we grew market share during the GFC. And what was even more fun with all of that was we went after some export work. So we opened up new markets in Israel, the Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam. No, it's not gazillions of volume, but it was good, solid volume that made a lot of money in winter. A couple of $1 million of the profit was attributed to that. We more than doubled our market in Turkey, and we started exporting fridges to China. So we were selling our high-end product through a distribution outlet into China, and that made us some good solid money for us and good solid money for him. And at the end of that 2009 year, we restarted production. There'd been about 25,000 units of product outsourced to a competitor factory in Thailand on the basis of cost. We brought that back into the business to free up $2 million of cash flow, give faster customer service, and it took us 2 extra people That's all I hired. We freed up $25 million worth of inventory back into free cash flow, and we consistently took our product costs down, and we basically broke all our warranty records. Just warranty improved in 2009 alone, added about $2.6 million to the bottom line. So I'm not here as an academic, far from it. All the professors I studied under would barely remember me, other than that clown at the back who never turned up. My background is cracking nuts and bolts and stuff. And Electrolux, out of Holden for 13 years, and Small and Steel along the way. Now, what I can be accused of, and it's quite true, when I was running a business was, how do I make a decision about what to do, A or B, or go and get some help? And it can feel a bit like having to jump out of a plane, even with a parachute. I'm not going to do it. And so the whole idea about how to go and get help and how to actually work on what should you do next in your business and how do you go find out what to do can feel like jumping out of an aeroplane. Rather scary. All the logic you've got in your brain can't get over the emotional fear sometimes of jumping out of a perfectly good aircraft. What I ask you to do for the next 35 minutes or so is just soak this all in. Be very sceptical about what I say, but be very curious about where it's coming from. And take what serves you and leave the rest behind. There's a whole bunch of stuff here and you're going to go, oh, I know that, I know that, I know that. The question is, are you doing it? There's some things in here that aren't going to fit your business models. There's a lot that will. But before you decide it doesn't fit your business model, take it all in first, mull over for a day or two, and then figure out what you can keep and what you want to change, what you want to create, what you want to discard. One of the things that I see so often in manufacturers I've worked with for over 20 years is that we are very, very cost focused. And so we should be. I'm not here to say that cost is unimportant, absolutely not. But what I've seen happen in the auto industry, and it happened in Electrolux and most other places, is we've got very focused on cost, and in our drive to reduce cost, we've also given away value. And we're giving less value to our clients. There's less reason for them to buy from us as opposed to the cheap and cheerful competitor or cheap and nasty competitor. So whenever we're playing purely on cost play, we run the risk of having ourselves hitting the margin war because we stopped creating and delivering value. And clients really buy on value. If we don't give them anything to differentiate ourselves about why we're more valuable to them, yes, then we will go and buy the cheapest of 3 quotes. Well, I've proven this through a number of small businesses in the last couple of years and a couple of corporates where we've been able to charge more, significantly more, 10, 15 or 20% increases in price because we added more value to the base product which didn't cost us. We worked on the service side of it and what the client really needed. So what we can often get lost in and trapped into is moving from a value mindset with the client there and getting stuck in cost. We've really got to look at cost, but value's really got to trump the whole lot. How are we going to provide more value for it? Well, so what do I do and my colleagues here, Mike and Nathaniel at the back, what we really do is we just help all the different parts of the businesses work together and integrate. So all the parts of the clock actually all hang together and create that whole value activity for the clients. So how do we do that? Oh, why? Anyone ever heard of Rule 695, Section 524? I'd be doing really well if you did because I created it. Okay, so $695 per fortnight. Anyone ever guess what that might be? That's the maximum value of the old age pension. So for any of you that are business owners, it's building your business to be an asset that's saleable or still gives you an income return so that you don't end up on a lifestyle that gives you. My grandfather's a 91-year-old, and my grandmother's still here as well. He's a 91-year-old World War II veteran, ex-POW. They've lived on the pension for 30-odd years. They live a very simple lifestyle. Lovely man. Very gentle people. That's what happens if your business doesn't create value. If building a saleable asset if you're the owner, and if you're an employee, you need that business creating solid profits so that you keep a security of employment and income, so that you can invest, so that you have enough assets around, because that's the default position. Now that's a single person. Subsection 524, that's per person for a couple, per fortnight, $524. Now if you own a house, it's more than the way I read it, more than about $300,000, $350,000 in value, you're actually expected to liquidate that and live off of that. Because you can't have much more than about that in assets, or this starts reducing. So if there's any ever imperative for your team, your business, and anyone around you to say, hey, this business needs to survive and grow and keep making money, that's it. And most people, I saw a few faces here, get a bit of a shock when they see what the old age pension is, and they mentally go, well, my current income is this, my current expenses are that, well, that's going to be a real struggle to live on. And if you're in most parts of Sydney, I think most houses in Sydney, or a lot of them are well worth more than $350,000. So the challenge for us is to creating more income while we are working, so that we can invest, so that we don't have to do that. Now that's today. As our population ages, pensions become a larger drain, and since about the year 2000, I think it was the governor of the Reserve Bank sort of said, well, it's really unsustainable, basically. So pensions aren't going to massively increase. We really have to own the ability to create wealth for ourselves via our businesses to provide us a lifestyle as we get older. So if people say, oh, well, you know, it's the company's responsibility to look after me. No, if you don't look after yourself, you're going to end up on the pension. And I'm very supportive of there being a pension, but you've got a role to play in generating an income for yourself whilst that's going on. That usually surprises a few people. That's really what we have to do, and why you should care about what we're going through. It's really easy for all of us to turn up and just get stuck in the day-to-day minutiae of survival and get through the day, get through the week, and say, oh, it's just too hard to do anything more. I'm just too busy. And get trapped on that hamster wheel, going round and round and round. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, if you're a business owner, you weigh up, you're looking at the ceiling and you're going, can I actually do this? Am I better off giving it away, getting a job? Can I keep doing this? Can I keep going? That's not a nice place to be, and there's plenty of business owners I've worked with, and you hear the story of how they started, and they've had nights like, you know, get up in the morning, have a shave in the mirror, whatever it might be, lay awake at 3 o'clock at night, they can't talk to their mates down the pub about it. It's really, is this all too hard? Am I good enough to pull this off? Managers in businesses all go through that cycle. We all run into situations where it's, I don't know,